Mike the Ref Maloney, Big Bad Boris on the call here tonight.
Let's go! Let go!
Third! Let the Super Kick Party! Yeah, pay the money for that. No one. And of course, you gotta get the Coffin spin. Hey, yo, 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 and away we go. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the AEW Sidecast for April 24th, 2024. I am Mike the Ref once again. Thank you for joining the Players Pit tonight. This is going to be an interesting night because let's face it, and I think we're going to face it a lot more when we're in our WWE 2K24 My GM mode coming up right after. Usually the day after the pay-per-view, we're either going to get something mind-blowing or we're going to have a very, I don't want to say horrible, but draggy show. A lot of promos, a lot of, all right, who survived the pay-per-view? Let's put you guys in matches to make things look good. As of right now, AEW only has 3 matches scheduled. The main event is Jon Moxley versus Will Hobbs for the IWGP Championship, which, of course, everybody in New Japan's going to be crapping on for numerous reasons, which none of them are really founded. Because let's face it, if Hobbs wins, that title will go back on Moxley before he heads back to Japan. There is always a possibility that Mox could drop the title to Hobbs just to piss off the internet and piss off half of Japan. But I think it'd be good for Hobbs. As well, talk about another match. I've even got into a little bit of fervor on this one. An eliminator match between the ROH TV champion Kyle Fletcher and the new AEW World Champion Swerve Strickland. Now, there's a million different ways you go with this. That everybody's like, oh, well, you can never have the champion lose right after they won the title. One thing I appreciate about AEW more than anything is the fact that all these tropes that everybody has, everybody says that you have to do it a certain way. AEW's gone out there and said, to hell with you. We're going to do it whatever way we want to do it. And we're going to see how things go. There is a possibility, and I said this point blank. Could you see Fletcher winning by countout on this one with the Callis family interfering? Personal opinion here, if it's not going to be Hangman Page coming out for a Double or Nothing program, I think the next match you're going to see Swerve with for the title is Takeshita, who's been an absolute beast for as long as he's been around here. And especially since he's hooked up with Don Callis. And to me, whether they do that on a special Dynamite or they do it at Double or Nothing, I still think it's a money match. Is it the biggest money match of all time? No. They've worked on making Takeshita look like an absolute killer, and it's sort of fit in the circumstances. But will it translate into big dollars for a main event? Right now, who knows? Simply, hey, Zodiac, how you doing here today? Let's get a little foghorn action out here. I don't think we're going to be using a whole lot of it. There might be some excitement here tonight. But how are you doing today? We're just going over the 3 matches that are presently scheduled and how booking ideals could be changed all over the place here compared to what they normally are. Could the champion lose on the first? Good. At least I think. It's always good. Always a positive to think good. I do apologize if I came out a little bit later compared to normal. Mr. Callahan, good to see you here tonight. Glad you're here. We're ready for some wrestling. I will say, this will probably be a very character-based show tonight. There's probably going to be a little bit more promo work than normal. Because the thing about pay-per-views, they do take a lot out of wrestlers, so the next episode is a little bit more, let's see who's not injured, and we'll go from there. So I think that's what we're going to see here tonight from AEW Dynamite. I am so looking forward to this. And yeah, sorry if I ran a little late today, and sorry I didn't stream yesterday. I was supposed to do some 2K24 work yesterday. I didn't want to really go on to the interwebs and explain what happened yesterday, because there's that Yu Darvish internet video that would explain it very well. But let's just put it this way. I had some bad Chinese food last night, so I ended up playing MLB The Show last night for most of the night, but every game I pretty much had to get up and go get rid of some stuff. So I just didn't feel like being on the internet with you guys doing that all night. I don't think you want to sit here and watch me get up all the time. But yeah, we're going to get back into the 2K24 tonight, and we're going to get on our way to the Survivor Series pay-per-view, which I think it's a big fail on WWE when it comes to 2K24 in that case, because it should be the Royal Rumble that you lead into going into the end of your season. Royal Rumble, WrestleMania. That's just usually the way it works, right? But anyway, I guess I could probably go and fix that in settings, but I just don't know how. But either way, tonight's going to be a lot of fun. We do have, once again, as I mentioned, we are going to get Moxley versus Hobbs. Will Hobbs absolutely ticked because Ospreay's been stealing the spotlight, while Moxley's just decided, well, you could have all the spotlight here. And you've had so many people in New Japan pissed about the first challenger for the title being an AEW guy, not an IWGP or a New Japan guy. And it's funny because I think Vegas odds would have it pretty high for Hobbs to win this match. You're not going to get much of a chance to... Hobbs is not getting much of a chance in this match. Sort of the same way with Fletcher with Strickland. I know a lot of people are disappointed that this is an official eliminator match. But like I was chirping on Twitter about, which is always great, don't feed the trolls unless you're feeling froggy. But I was saying there is a way that, Swerve could lose by count out and still have Fletcher lined up for a title shot then, right? And then the other match that's scheduled tonight is Mina Shirikawa taking on Anna Jay, which it's going to be a great match. Apparently Anna Jay is teaming up with AZM with the Stardom product, sort of having some intertwining moments between the two. And Mina Shirikawa is best buds with with Mariah May. So that's gonna set up some fun here tonight, I think. But once again, everybody, just as we're about to begin here, the actual show, just want to say thank you to everybody for stopping by. And if you haven't done so yet, I'm gonna try to keep the plugs at a minimum, but I do want to get them out. Check out both our wrestling and our YouTube channels. If you're watching on the YouTube, you are going to get an info link up at the top for a link to our gaming page. Got the WWE 2K24 runs there every Tuesday and Saturday. Tomorrow I'm starting because I want to fill in some spots, I'm looking to get some arcade stories in. So the arcade modes from Street Fighter 6 for Chun-Li is going to be the first one. So that's going to be going up tomorrow. Actually got to finish the thumbnail on that. Oh, here we go. I'm assuming it's the Bucks with the scapegoat. Yep. The EVPs. The scapegoat. Not even a word has to be said. You notice Perry hasn't said a word at all? I like the little detail here of security. After grabbing him last time, they were just pissed this time that he's allowed in. So if you guys aren't familiar, Dynamite is being held at Daly's Place tonight. Mainly because across the compound from Daly's Place is the Jags are front office, so Tony Khan can get ready for the draft. I think Tony's literally said, I think this is the brightest we've seen this place. So they are basically running an amphitheater tonight. Wish you were there maybe Saturday? Hey, possibly. But yeah, they had to run this venue here because Tony Khan's going to be running the draft. And then on Saturday, he's literally going to be signing free agents right up until showtime. So if anything changes right before the show, Tony's going to have a little bit of issue here. Draft starts tomorrow. The NFL draft runs over 3 days. The first round starts tomorrow. Rounds 2 and 3 go on Friday, and then rounds 3 through 7 go on Saturday. Didn't realize that. Go Commanders! Yay, sports! Oh, God. Because you had no personality, Trent.
We fought for him. We protected him. We did everything for him, and he gave us nothing. Orange Cassidy
He gave you relevance.
Orange Cassidy is not your friend.
With all due respect, the best friends wouldn't have had anything if it wasn't for Orange or Sue, really. He cares about backup.
So please, do the right thing and give the people what they want.
Mr. McGee! How the heck you doing tonight? Mel. Oh, this is going to be a suck it.
You know, Trent, I've always thought you were a piece of shit.
All right. Well, there go the best friends all together. Now Roppongi's probably... I wonder if Roppongi Vice is going to stick together. Parking lot brawl? There'll be there'll be a promo halfway through the show here. Well, you want me out here, Chucky? You come get me. But how is everybody tonight as we're getting started here? As we're getting a nice Moxley promo putting over Hobbs. Moxley's trying as hard as he can to put over Hobbs right now. Working some off-duty security, so getting paid to watch. Hey! Anytime you can get paid to watch wrestling, that is a bonus here, sir. So yeah, like I said tonight, if you're expecting like 8-9 matches tonight, you're not going to get it. Because tonight, it's the night after a pay-per-view. It's the night to recharge everybody and try to... And Tony, I bet, put the booking very simple for tonight. But I will say, this is going to be a good cannon fodder show for the internet. Because everybody's going to say, oh, they're just a backyard indie. If you look at the arena tonight, just the way it's set up. Sorry, it's the... Oh, God, we're already doing this. We're already getting this in. For Swerve when I drive, and I swerve when I drive, and I got a title belt, cause I got a few welts, but I gotta get the dough, cause I beat Samoa Joe. Woo! I actually made it rhyme this week, folks. I made it rhyme! Let's go! And that was off the top of my head, because frankly, I didn't have time. And another thing that I know a lot of people were upset about, especially a lot of reporters, they were trying to retweet a bunch of video from the show, right? A lot of them keep forgetting that during the pay-per-view days of WWF and WCW, they would never show clips online. They would let you hear about what happened, but you don't get to see nothing. That FOMO is huge in people, so I know we had a hell of a lot of fun here tonight on Sunday night here with Andre C. Once again, thanking him for stopping by here. And then, yeah, tonight, if you didn't hear, this is actually an eliminator match, which I think people were overblowing it a little bit more than expected, but there is a possibility that this could end up being a victory for Fletcher. It's a very small possibility, don't get me wrong. But if you could get Fletcher a victory here to set up a championship match later, and once again, we get Mr. Callis on commentary. It's a bit of a mixed bag for me to have Callis on commentary. This is a celebration match for Swerve. Yeah, you know what? If you're going to give him a good guy to work with, Fletcher's an absolutely great wrestler to be a part of this. Oh, yeah, Fletcher is good, needs to get away from I think the whole faction, you could say that, right? I think they're waiting for Mark Davis to come back. Mark Davis is his tag team partner at Aussie Open. Then they could get what called the United Empire back together, which was those two and Ospreay. That's what Andre was wearing, his that towel that he had and all that. That was for United Empires. So
Absolutely, and good for Swerve to take on a kid that's 6'5" and 245 like Kyle Fletcher.
balls.
With big paws, as we used to call it.
I will admit I did want to have a little bit of fun with trolls today. If you saw me this morning, I was chatting with a few people about, well, you know, there is a way that Fletcher could win this. I know there's no way, but technically there is. There's a million ways you could book this. And as I was saying off top of the show, everybody says this has to happen or this has to happen. I think AEW has proven more than anything else that anything can happen, really. So Callis is the talk. No, it's not the talk. Osprey's the talk. Be interesting to see what graphics come up here to tell us what else we're going to get tonight. I'm going to laugh so hard if we got one. Oh, Willow's championship celebration, which she's going to get the party favors, and Mercedes coming down to interrupt it. A Casino Gauntlet Match. That's why they couldn't announce a whole lot, because they have a multi-man, let's just throw everybody out there and see what happens match. Oh, so the winner of that gauntlet match is going to take on Roddy. And unfortunately, we get to look at disheveled Jericho. So what do you think about the venue for next week's Dynamite spoiling the fact that, and by the way, I'll wait a few seconds if you want to mute for about 5 seconds here. The venue for next week spoiled that Kenny Omega is going to be there. Now, we're not sure if he's going to wrestle, but if there was going to be a return, that would be a hell of a place, right? And I'll pretty much guarantee that he's not going to wrestle just for the fact I don't even think he's had the surgery yet. That's the second time a venue has leaked something of AEW. Yeah, it happens a lot, but here's the difference, I think, of this one. This one, I don't think Kenny's actually wrestling. He'll show up. He'll give a pop to the crowd like no other. Because let's face it, in the condition that Omega's in, there might not be any other chances for Kenny to get in front of the crowd in Winnipeg. So for me, it's more we were dealing. Nana using heel tactics as a face manager. I like it. Swerve trashing the crowd because they're just chatting instead of watching. As we head to our first picture-in-picture for tonight. Well, yeah, tonight will be a lot of fun. And yeah, talking about spoiling venues and that, I'm not a big deal when it comes to spoilers, but I can know if there's something bigger that that could happen. There very well could be a spoiler tonight in that Gauntlet Battle Royal. Now, here's one for you, and this is where I know we don't talk a lot of politics in here, but I love how Swerve is just giving it to her. She's like, you want to come do this? But then, in terms of politics, what I wanted to mention is there's no, the federal government in the States has just banned non-compete clauses. Just straight up, no more non-compete clauses anymore. They've all been thrown out for basically, they're deemed illegal now. So hear me out, chat. Hear me out. There is a certain someone who moved to Florida here about 5 years ago. Originally from North Carolina. Recently got some bad news online. Could you imagine the pop and the buzz that would go around if Trevor Lee showed up, won, and is going to be challenging Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing? Like, let's face it, Trevor Lee absolutely got no chance on the main roster. Like, I think he had maybe 3 or 4 matches, and they couldn't figure out what to do. That's what I was saying, McGee. Now there's no longer these 90-day clauses or 30-day clauses that are in there. The federal court has actually deemed that all these clauses are illegal. They actually can't. You could sue if somebody blocks you for doing that. Oh, you're doing laundry, okay? Yeah, it just came down. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah, there you go. Zodiac mentioned it there. The Federal Trade Commission there. The Federal Trade Commission came down and said no non-compete clauses do not exist anymore. If they could bring out a Trevor Lee tonight just to shock the world after what happened last night, even if they're going to do it for like a 1 month here right now, could you imagine the pop, the buzz, the talk? And then every time somebody's contract comes up, there'll be an immediate, well, is he going to show up here? Is he going to show up here? He's going to show up here? Like, we literally could get a left on Wednesday, show up on Saturday, right? The video he posted, yeah, like, McGee, like, that's why I would love to see Trevor Lee just show up here tonight. And if he could pull that off, and I know Mikey Ruckus has been a little more vocal about some work he's been doing here tonight, so we'll see. I think the only ones that can still be held up are like top execs for Fortune 500s. What I think is basically what it comes down to is it could be a voluntary payout. Like, basically, we will pay you X amount of dollars if you do not say what. It's basically an NDA more than anything else. Don't you love the Bucks? They're not even going to bother knocking on the door. Tony Khan talking to Jack Perry for the first time ever since All In. Because that's the story that Perry's been mentioning, right? Oh, God. Hardest part of the ring! Yes, I'll show myself out on that one. But yeah, I think in that terms of those top execs you're talking about there, Mr. Callahan, it would be more referring to Swerve Stomp on the apron. That's a new finisher. Is that the super finisher? But I think when you're talking about those executives, you got to go more for the NDA rather than the non-compete clause. It's a different category of item. Can't really force a person to not work, but you can prevent somebody from sabotaging trade secrets, all that stuff. It's semantics in many ways. It's more for the common worker more than anything. Oh, God. This is a hell of a story they're telling here. Swerve got cocky, hit the stomp on the apron, twisted his ankle, and now they're going to use that. Oh, now he's got the body scissors on. Spanking him with a foot. But yeah, this could be... It's interesting how they got Fletcher here. I honestly feel, and I'm still saying this, that we might be going to Takeshita versus Swerve at Double or Nothing. Which, for many respects, might actually be a very good choice. If you can't do Hangman again, because Hangman said for sure he was going to do everything he can to block Swerve from being champion. But here's a question for you, chat. Who do you think should be Swerve's opponent going for Double or Nothing? We do have about a month and a half to go. Because, yeah, the Double or Nothing pay-per-view is during Memorial Day long weekend, so we got approximately 6 more weeks to do of matches to go through here. The only thing I'm really upset about when it comes to Kyle Fletcher and his run right here as TV champ, there's been a guy that's been really pushing... oh, there we go. Rogers Place in Edmonton. Just for the record, 2 weeks from now, we will not be here for a sidecast, unfortunately. He's trying to get that... Fletcher was trying there. He was really trying. Yeah, tickets are going to be getting cheap. Like I said, I haven't got my ticket for Edmonton yet. Oh, the coach is pissed. Coach is pissed. The player didn't want to play the play. He's going for the brain buster. But yeah, I'll definitely be getting a ticket. I'm waiting until I get a decent price for it, right? Okay, Meteora time. Oh no. House call kick? That won't do it. Oh, okay. I thought he was going to have to go up again. Yeah, I see Takeshita in my future here. I love how they don't have to advertise Winnipeg, but they will advertise Edmonton. There's the announcement right there. Kenny Omega returns next week. Swerve versus Hobbs for a double or nothing. That actually wouldn't be a bad choice either. But yeah, it looks like it will be somebody from the Don Callis family no matter what. Since I'm Swerve versus Ospreay, I think Takeshita will just as well. It's going to be somebody in the Don Callis family. So they're doing these promos just off stage. So if they're trying to mic the crowd, it's going to sound awkward like it does right now. So that's why you're going to get a lot of feedback here tonight when it comes to the promos. They're trying to do a show in an amphitheater tonight. I've seen a few places where it's done, and I think it's done really well, but the audio is never great. You got to mix that thing absolutely perfect for it to do it, and I just don't think I don't think for doing promos you got anything that can really help you with it. Either you cut the crowd out. There's an arena literally. It's a football field across the road, isn't it? Well, here's the difference, Zodiac, and I know this is something I was talking about earlier with NXT. NXT has reported that their Battleground pay-per-view June 9th is actually going to be held at the UFC Apex in Las Vegas. And first thing I saw when I saw that, first thing I mentioned, it's 1,000 people. It holds 1,000 people. So why would you go there? The venue's free. Same thing with Daly's place. Like, the sports campus. I don't think the cons own all of it. If they are, then yeah, just why wouldn't you go to the arena? But there is a little bit of historical significance here as well. So if they could, I could see why they would want to do it here. Plus, it's a guaranteed sellout, right? Yeah, they don't. They make more money at Daly's. Exactly, because literally Tony Khan mentioned it in an interview he did earlier this week. Saturday, he literally gets to take a golf cart across the field to Saturdays are always horrible for sales. But I'll guarantee if you get your ticket now, because, by Saturday, it probably will be sold out. Because, frankly, there ain't a whole lot of tickets available there. But also remember, Saturday nights in Jacksonville, I'm sure there's other things you want to do. Like enjoy the beautiful weather. Because I know here, we're finally getting some decent weather. Not really. City's dead. You're the man on the ground. So we'll see what happens here. But I got a feeling there's going to be a few more tickets sold between now and then. I think a lot of people realize that they'll go down the closer to the date. Like, hell, that's what I'm doing for the Edmonton show. I'm waiting for the price to go down. It's tough when you have to rely on your walk-in to cover that, but It's a big gamble. See if my kids want to go first. Feels weird going alone. Yeah, true enough. You're talking to a guy who pretty much goes to every wrestling show by himself now. I just find it... I'm more of an introvert, and I like to just absorb the atmosphere. Like, one of my favorite places to be is just the back row of a packed arena and just watch the crowd. Oh, so we're getting Mina and Anna Jay early here tonight. But as someone with kids, you gotta... Oh, abso-freaking-lutely. So I wonder if Mariah May had to dance like this to come out to the ring and Stardom. Speaking of Mariah, it's going to be fun when her Twitch streams come back. She has talked about getting back at it. It was funny when Mariah came across the country from, when she come across the continent. Hell, halfway across the world from Japan. She said the two things she had was a light and her PS5. And her TV, a light and a PS5, and that was it. In her apartment. Yeah, Anna Jay pretty much evolved, like Taz is saying here. She was grown up in this Daily's Place atmosphere here, right? She's one of the wrestlers. Her and Julia Hart were truly pandemic kids. Growing up in that atmosphere for wrestling, right? I love it. That's sort of something I would do there. You want to show me up here? I'll just punch you in the face or boot you in the face. Oh, I don't have I don't have an advertising guide for it right now, or an ad up or anything for that. But just a quick let you know about here. One of the regulars on our channel, HPC Bad Guys, they're celebrating their 300th episode tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Mountain. I'll make sure I have it. I'll resend it out on all my socials, but feel free to stop by, say hi, and they're going to be talking a lot about wrestling and going to be talking about what, 300 episodes? That's 5 years. Like, that's... I'd say that's half as long as I've been covering wrestling, but for anybody to put on a grind for that amount of time and have such an entertaining show as they do, takes a lot. I love that leg sweep there. I don't know if you guys noticed real quick, but she actually uses the hair for it. It's actually a really good heel tactic. Instead of having to grab the head, you just grab the hair and pull it back. Shirikawa looks solid. His Stardom win, best kept streak. I would say so. In terms of the overall talent, the amount of training that those ladies go through in Stardom, just it's the best secret nobody knows, except for us over here on the channel, because I got two people that cover it every week. If you met Andre here on Sunday, he covers it quite a bit. Once again, plugging out the Wazoom here. Where is it? There we go. Wrestling YouTube. We do have replays of all the Melball and Andre cover New Japan and Stardom. And they do plan on starting to cover the new promotion, Marigold, out of the wonderful country of Japan. If you're not familiar with Marigold, it is Rossi Agawa's promotion. He's the guy that got kicked out of Stardom there for supposedly feeding people to WWE and doing all these unscrupulous things that he said, but they have some talent there, and some people are definitely willing to work there. So, yeah, like if you saw AZM, was it 2 weeks or last week when she was here? You got Shirikawa here. You're going to get a few more of them come over closer to Forbidden Door as well. I know that they've had a lot more interaction on ROH than they have on the AEW Collision and Dynamite shows. I was going to say Dynasty. I'm like, yeah, they weren't on at all there. But Stardom Wrestling, once again, for me, it just comes down to time for the fact I haven't been able to watch as much as I would like to. But yeah, definitely, Andre Melball could tell you a lot more about Stardom Wrestling than I can. But every time I talk to them about it, they're always gushing over it. Like, their cards are so solid, and the biggest thing is Japanese integration into the States. It's very hard to get done. For any Japanese product to get over here. Unless its name is Nintendo. But I digress about that. Like, it took essentially the match that got NJPW truly on the North American landscape was the Kenny Omega Chris Jericho match way back in Wrestle Kingdom. I think it was 14 or something. Before that, you knew it existed, but you didn't really know what it was when it comes to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And now it has a very strong following. It's pretty much hit a bit of a downturn because after the pandemic, new ownership and booking that sometimes feels questionable at times. Like recently, they just had Matt Riddle win their TV title off Zack Sabre Jr. Then at their last big show in Japan, Sabre Jr. won it back, and Matt Riddle decided to pull an Austin Aries right after the match. Yeah, I think it was Austin Aries that just bailed out of the ring and just walked out after the 3. No selling the finish. One thing about Stardom that you'll notice with the wrestlers there, they don't hold their punches back. Steve! And that back fist means a lot to them in Japan, based on Bull Nakano and the rich history of her there. Recent WWE Hall of Famer, if that matters. Still don't think WWE stars are going to like Julia stiff strikes. No, they're not. Anna just basically pulled herself out. That looked... She didn't even ask for a kick out there. They made Nakamura and Styles change Soul Julie. Yeah, it just takes time. Like, it's all about different styles, right? Like, you go to Mexico to learn lucha. You go to Japan to learn Japanese strong style. You go to North America to learn the North America TV style, I think is the best way to explain it. Then there's British strong style in Europe. Like, yeah, they'll adapt. They'll figure it out. The smart ones will, and the ones that don't will be back in Japan before you know it. Or in AEW, one or the other. Yeah, that's true. AEW is styles different than WWE. I think, realistically, I think if Tony Khan had his way, AEW would be a purely international product, like every week in a different country kind of thing. Because I really consider, in many ways, WWE is the US of wrestling companies, while AEW is the Canada of wrestling companies. And the reason I say that is because everybody is once you get to WWE, your style changes. You have to do it this way or you're not going to be successful. You can have some variances, but oh, there's a nice key. Oh my goodness. There's a variation of a key lock I haven't seen before. Glamorous collection. I love how Excalibur says, oh, we're going to steal some of that it's a very interesting... It's got that double hammerlock pin with the leg follow through. That's the best part. So the star of the show versus the timeless one? Looks like Tony didn't have time to get dressed before coming out here. Now Serena Deeb. All right, we're starting to get layers here, folks. No, I didn't think anybody was complaining, just... So it looks like we found our double or nothing match here. And I'm not complaining about this either. Serena Deeb and Toni Storm. A lot of people don't remember the past of Serena Deeb. For those that have been out of wrestling for a while, and I know there's a few of you in here that have been out of wrestling for a while, before AEW... Serena Deeb is most famously known for being the person that shaved her head as part of the Straight Edge Society with CM Punk. If you want to go back and correlate where she is. Yeah, she is absolutely amazing. She just had an injury that had her out for a while, and she's been doing a lot of coaching in the back. Like, the professor's not just a gimmick, it's a way of life when it comes to her. And yeah, if we could get this as a match going forward. Toni Storm, I even without anybody at ringside, I think that would be such an amazing match. To have those two going at it. And it's somebody fresh for her and gets her out of this. Like right now, it looks like we're going to get Thunder Rosa and Deonna Purrazzo matching off against each other, fighting one amongst each other. Mariah May, well, she's sort of getting involved in more of this Stardom mid-card area. We got all our storylines with Willow Nightengale and Mercedes Moné, which I'm sure... Do we see Moné tonight? It doesn't seem this venue's big enough for her. Still thinking TK's hoping for Storm versus Hayter at all. I think so. Always got to... Moné is advertised. Well, that makes sense. On the billboards. Okay, well... Sometimes billboards can be a little misleading. Sort of like whatever they say the Kings are going to get a victory in Edmonton. Sorry, I had to. Sorry, I had to. Been having the hiccups a lot today, so just try to make sure I keep them down. But no, there's a lot of women's storylines building right now, and I am dead set focused that the actual problem isn't with TK and the booking of them. And I think the biggest problem right now is actually the networks not wanting them on there. The reason I say that is because there's more women's matches booked on the pay-per-views in essentially the same amount of time. She was the biggest face, front and center of the billboard outside the base of the years. Fair enough. Oh, because Caprice puts over Willow's song like no other.
This one's for you, girl. She is the babe with the power, and we are here to give her her flowers. She reminds us that nothing matters and to smile anyway, because every time we see her, she brightens our day. I am standing here in silver because she is our gold. And now she has the TBS championship to hold.
Statlander, with all due disrespect, that was 2 packs of ass.
2 packs of ass?
The new face of TBS,
This like feels like an award ceremony. I guess it is a celebration, so. Is this why they got Caprice out here just to sing Willow's song? I know there's a few of you here that don't like her tune, but. I love how Caprice wrote down the rhyme and he can't get it out of his mouth. Yeah, yeah.
You know, Willow, when this whole thing got started, I didn't like you.
I didn't like you either, Stokely.
You were like a fungus that the doctor, just couldn't cut off. But look at us. Look at us now.
Yeah.
And you earned that championship, and we both are proud of you.
Thank you, Stokely. Thank you, guys.
I love how we're so ingrained to expect a heel turn out of Statlander here.
This is the very place where, let me take you back, right? Spring 2022, 2020, I was right here, front row, trying to catch my break. And then in 2022, I was in this ring, Tony Schiavone met me here. And on that board, Willow Nightengale is all elite. But tonight I'm not trying to catch a break. I'm not a rookie. Tonight I stand here as the face of TBS.
Oh, yeah, here we go. How long until it gets broken up here?
That's what I'm talking about.
Yep, there it is.
Mercedes
Once again, stealing another moment. God bless Game Time Art. One of my favorite reposters here for hockey. Sportsnet, no doubt on orders from the NHL, calls it playoff chaos. The rest of us normal people with eyes call it very shitty officiating. Sounds like sports in general. I honestly feel that Mercedes' ankle still isn't ready to go yet. All right. I like this. Willow's finally standing up to her. But 32 days. Who's counting? I do appreciate the half the boos, half the cheers, right? And now Julia Hart comes. I love Statlander. They're just, nope, we're going to keep you shut right now.
Are you asking me if I blame you for almost ending my career? Are you asking me if I blame you for
See,
suffering all?
you want to talk about the circle of life here?
Are you asking me if I am blaming you for taking the one thing that I love the most, wrestling, away from me for a whole year? You don't want the truth, Willow. You just want to feel better about what you did to me.
Mercedes, I genuinely feel so awful that happened to you. But there were a lot of questions and doubts for me too after that match. I went back to my hotel room, I looked at that championship, and I should have smiled. But I wondered to myself, could I have beaten Mercedes at 100%? And then the next day, I went on social media and I heard everybody say the same thing. I went to the locker room and I heard the same
Now,
thing.
wasn't Mercedes in the same boat when it came to Saraya?
But this
Just throwing it out there.
right here, there is no asterisk next to this. So at Double or Nothing, Mercedes, I want you 100% because I want to show you that I can beat you and why I am the TBS champion.
And Stokely's like all over this.
Well, enjoy this while you can. Because at Double or Nothing, you know in your heart that you can't beat me.
And they're not going to let Mercedes lose in her first match, are they? Hey, KJ, how you doing? Of course there's a Mercedes segment and she shows up. Yeah, we got a little bit of a weird finish there. Had to make your appearance. Yeah, so they've officially put the first match forward for the pay-per-view now with Willow and Mercedes. That just, like I said, that just feels weird more than anything else. Oh, man. Tony Khan having a moment in the ring. This is not going to be fun. So now they're showing the Jack Perry. All right. Honestly, lost track of time watching Jays and didn't realize it started. I thought it was already announced. It wasn't officially announced. It was officially announced tonight. Mercedes basically claimed next, but she didn't. She doesn't have that authority, right? So until you see the graphic, it doesn't count. So I was looking at prices for tonight. Didn't sell out tonight. Oh, wow. It's actually funny that they said they were actually looking for seat fillers tonight, too. That's the other thing I found amazing. So is Jay in the gauntlet? So if you missed anything, we are having a gauntlet for... They're having a gauntlet match to see who's going to face Roddy Strong at Double or Nothing. Don't mind me if I... All right, this is going to be fun. Depending how the rules are. 31 for Saturday, but it's right behind the camera. Ooh. So the obstructed seats, in other words. Oh, so the reason this is called a... Actually, I like this concept. It's basically Royal Rumble entry, but first pinfall or submission ends it. 46 for the next lowest, yeah. Is Okada wrestling tonight? I doubt it. All your big names for the most part. I think Swerve was the only one that... Swerve's the only big name that you're probably going to get that's going to work a double. And yes, I understand Jay White is a big name, but he was on the pre-show. Like Ospreay won't be here. Danielson won't be here. But yeah, I love it too, KJ. It's a different concept and it's very, very unique. And it actually gives you stakes for coming in early. It gives you the ability to... It gives you the ability for a reason to come in early rather than, oh, I hope I get a late number. Maybe you don't. Personally, I'd want number like 4 or 5. If they're going to do every 5 minutes or so, or every 3 or 4 minutes. Let everybody wear each other out, and I'll pick up the bones at the end of it. But yeah, in terms of who we're going to get wrestling tonight, there's going to be this, and there's going to be the main event tonight. with John Moxley and Powerhouse Hobbs. They might have another quick one, but I doubt it. And there goes Dante's knee again. Oh, of course, by the way, it's random timing. And once again, I am calling for the shock of the night. I'm hating how they're saying Jay White is wasted in AEW by certain fans. No one was crying when Shinsuke wasn't winning. Here's the thing, and this is the part that gets me up. Anything that happens that can stoke a fire in certain fans when it comes to AEW, people are going to use it to the upteen. And I'll be honest, I was, when I got home from work on Tuesday, I was watching a stream of a game that we're actually going to be covering next week on Monday. Top Spin 2K25, but that's not the important part. This streamer started talking about how Will Ospreay at the end of his press conference, while he did say, his main gist of the entire thing he said was, I don't want to start dealing with this BS of talking about Triple H anymore. He's beneath me. Well, this streamer decided to only take the last part of that and just use the, he said, he's beneath me. And to me, I started feeling like I have to be a AEW defender in some ways. I like all wrestling. I'll call everybody out for being an idiot. But I do like good wrestling all around. So then, it just frustrates me. I just had to walk away. I literally turned off my computer and went and did dishes, of all things. I spent an hour just washing my hands in soap and water, just trying to get my mind off things. But it's tough when you have to always be an AEW defender, right? But yeah, McGee, you nailed it right on the head. Apparently White's loving what he's doing, and that's what's important, right? And Zodiac, you're completely correct on that. It's frustrating. It's frustrating to have to deal with the online crowd that wants to bury at any touch they can. I still feel in my heart of hearts that people just fear what they don't know. And AEW is such a foreign product. I used to listen to Busted Open. That's what I'm with. Like, some of Bully Ray's posts, so just, no, I'm good. I used to watch Wrestle Talk religiously. Now I take it with about 16 pounds of salt. In terms of podcasts, I'll listen to McGuire on wrestling once in a while, but most of it lately, what I've been listening to is just the old school stuff. Like OSW Review is actually a really good one. If you go back, they go back into the Hogan era and even talk about those pay-per-views and just give their honest opinions on it. How to Wrestling is actually a really good one if you're new to wrestling, because it goes through a lot of wrestlers. And the concept of How to Wrestling on their podcast is it's a husband and wife. The husband's been in wrestling for years, and the wife was new into wrestling just a couple years ago. So now every episode they cover a certain character or a certain story. Oh, and here comes Kyle O'Reilly. Dave LaGreca Bully got mad because Orange Cassidy beat Taylor with an orange punch that has no complaints about a people's... Exactly. For people, they just don't... So many people think it's about apples and sweat socks. They think it's apples and oranges when it's apples and sweat socks in many ways. And that's why I feel very important in this community that we don't go over the... One guy I should listen to a little bit more, but I'd like to see him get his own... Like, most of the time when I see Simon Miller, he's on the Cultaholic, and They just seem to be on a similar level as, oh my God. I haven't seen one of those. I love cocky O'Reilly. But yeah, Simon Miller with his ups and downs, it's always great. One of my favorite moments before they had all the changes over there, King Ross Tweddell, having his WTF moments. It's something I honestly was considering trying to do. Just reiterate something like that on this channel. Ospreay's in the match to go for the international title. Hello? This will bring up his feud for Double or Nothing. That's why you bring him in here. And let's just throw some random great matches that we can think of here. Ospreay versus anyone is fun, yeah. Why you bring Ospreay in here? You for the pop. He's under contract. He's here. He wants to work. You want to talk about somebody who's just having fun? I think Ospreay, after getting that first match, that first recognition that, yeah, everybody knows who I am. As soon as he found that out, then it's like, oh, and here we go. Old friends meeting together. Like, now that he knows where he's at and how the lay of the land is a little bit more, you think he's not going to be a little more comfortable and everything's going to be so... He just loves being here. It's even with Mercedes here, like... you look at Mercedes now, and you can even tell from her original promo to now. Oh yeah, McGee, talk about what culture? Yeah, what culture? Cultaholic, I guess. Cultaholic and wrestled. Okay. By the way, Archer and Ospreay have a little bit of history. You want to talk about somebody who's underrated here? Archer deserves a lot. Give me 30 minutes of White Ospreay. Jesus! That was nice. Seeing what Archer did there. He literally chokeslammed one guy on another that he sent down on a... Let's see Miro come out now just to get... We'll get a meat match going on here. And just remember, folks, it's first pinfall or submission. Jesus! Oh, God. Oh, no. Blackout. Blackout. Here we go. Oh, to hell with it. Let's do the blackout to the outside. Oh, this is going to be fun. Like, here's the thing. We're sitting here. We're 10 minutes into this. It's just pure fun. Yeah, there's a little bit of chaos. Yeah, some of it doesn't make sense, but who cares? It's fun. Sometimes you just don't need to have everything on a single story beat every time. And that's one thing I really pride AEW with, is the fact that sometimes you don't need the storyline. You don't need a hard and firm storyline that you need to research for 6 weeks to find out. Give me about 5 minutes in the match of what's going on here and who's going after who. If you have to work a certain body part because of what happened before, you can give me a little explanation on that. But other than that, Mom's your father. It's sort of like on commentary. We were listening to it to open up the show for Sunday for Double or Nothing, or sorry, Dynasty. They gave a reason for you to care about Okada without having to watch him before. He has been the longest reigning IWGP champion ever. So yeah, okay, he's the biggest star in Japan. He's here. There you go. Just boom. The thing about Ospreay and White, sometimes the best having fun is better than the best holding all the belts. Abso-freaking-lutely. Well, look at what happened on Sunday. Look what happened with Okada and Danielson over at Wrestle Dream. You don't need a title to make a great match, and I think everybody... You don't necessarily need to say that this is the greatest match ever, or you don't need to advertise it anything more than what it is, and let the story explain what it's going to be. That's something I really do enjoy with AEW, when they get out of their own way. You know this is going to be a good match. Don't tell me it's going to be a good match. Let me decide for myself, and then it's a lot more convincing that it is a good match. Oh God, Jay White's dead. I love Jay White hanging up upside down. I'm surprised he hasn't hooked his foot on the rope just to, hang even further. Oh no, there you go. I'm assuming as soon as Picture gets back, they're gonna ring in the next person. Oh God. Jay White's a dead man. Jay White's a dead man. Never mind. Told you somebody's coming out after the commercial. Commander's a dead man. Oh, Commander. Oh my. All right. Everybody dies, including Archer, as he flies through a table. I don't think winning he is gonna be able. All right, here we go. Omega Commander, let's go. Hope everybody's got their turbo buttons locked on their controllers, because that's what you're gonna need on this one. Jeez! Angelic voice. Oh, I'll use that one in a positive. Oh, I love that Uranagi. There's just something about a high angle Uranagi that's just amazing. By the way, if anybody likes what they see or hear or want, make sure you clip it, because I'll make sure I use those clips on social media. I am going to try and get a little better at social media this year. I have to. Uh-oh, here. Okay, Jay Lethal. All right, I can take this too. Lethal and Ospreay, that'd be a hell of a match. Lethal combination. I absolutely love that too. I love one of the comments I saw on Twitter right now. This gauntlet match is on meth and I love it. There you go. Oh, here comes G White. No, half and half. We might be getting near the end, but I still think we're going to get another one. Maybe it's just me, but I still think we're going to get somebody else here. Axe kick, forearm. Jeez. Up to 21. Oh my. All right, reverse, reverse, reverse. Let's go. Boom. Jesus. Let's go. Mr. Star, this one, who is wearing purple and a mask? His name is Commander. KOMMANDER. Yeah, he's going up to the top rope right now. Yeah, there you go. Everything he does is off the middle of the rope. All right, well, you want to get him off the major scene. We just have to get him over to Double or Nothing, right? So now, let's just think about this. Will Ospreay, Roddy Strong. How many backbreakers are we going to see in this match? Versus how many other different moves are we going to see in this match? As we see Roddy coming out with the 90s porn stash. 80s porn stash, sorry. Got to differentiate between the years, of course, right? Because, you know, in the 90s, they had a little more Question is, how does Roddy retain? It's simple. I believe you see the third and the fourth man in line. I still think they keep Wardlow around until after Double or Nothing. But I think Wardlow and Adam Cole cost him because, let's face it, folks, if I had a choice, I don't know if you guys would have a choice, but what do you think about Adam Cole versus Will Ospreay? 100% Adam Cole. Not that we're going to get it right here. Not that we're going to get it right now, but damn, that pay-per-view is on May 26th. Should be at the Coca-Cola. Hey, you know what? In a way, the wrestlers will be doing circles around the ring, so it's sort of the same thing. You know what? That's why you can always go back and check the replays out, because here's the one thing, and a lot of people say this, and a lot of people recognize this. Once again, anyone versus Ospreay is fun. I will find a way to get an Ospreay chant here as a button here. Ospreay's the next Danielson. Let's just... You know what? Maybe I'll go one further here. Let's go Danielson / Omega. Put them together, form a hybrid. I think that's what Ospreay is. Because Omega doesn't have the technical aspect, but he does have the storytelling aspect. That in many ways, like, Danielson has a different kind of story to tell. And Omega just has that different aura of him compared to what Danielson has, right? If you combine both of those, I think that's what you get out of Ospreay here. But let's face it, comparing people is not exactly something you have to worry about a whole lot here because it's just so good. The whole card's going to be good. Like, that's the thing about AEW, and I was getting back to that earlier. The AEW cards are so damn good. Sometimes the worst thing they do is get in their own way. Like, let's face it. Jay White versus MJF straight up would have been an amazing match. But forever now, and until they have the rematch, all they're going to remember is that goofy booking that Tony Khan did at Full Gear. I honestly do feel they will get a rematch on that. And hell, you might end up having Jay White win that one, right? So right now it looks like we're really starting to get a card that's put together very well. And once again, like I said, I would love to have seen Trevor Lee come out here, even if he didn't win. But I feel Trevor Lee might be a perfect fit on this roster. Yes, I know they have too many people already, but can I sum up what I expect for the next few minutes here? I hope this makes sense. I really hope this makes sense because I was mentioning it online yet on Sunday. Please don't leave. Please don't leave, Al. There's going to be good stuff after this, honest. And basically, from what I've heard from the demographics, a lot of people bailed for about an hour during that match. Neighbor's about to slip you another note that says with that bleep. Well, the thing is, you hear the bleep. They don't. It's silent on my end. So what you're trying to tell me is the beep is a little loud, I guess. So let me... There we go. I'll turn that down a bit. Believe the hook to XT rumors? No, not a bit. If it happens, good for Hook. I hope it turns out well for him. But do I believe he'll actually go? No. I think the bleep was fine. I think you were bleeping the neighbor. It was what you were bleeping at the neighborhood. Fair enough. Oh, Jericho. Wow. He just called Taz collateral damage. How long is Jericho going to be at AEW? As long as he wants. really do hope next week they do the please retire chant. It'll hit a lot more when it's in Winnipeg.
who have been drawn into the Jericho vortex and have come out the other side. Even bigger stars, so many of them.
Why don't you talk about the ones that didn't go over?
So excited. I am so excited to see
Ah.
former AEW World Tag Team Champions. Speaking of big, I feel it.
You did miss Tony. It was Mina Shirikawa versus versus Anna Jay. And then after the match, Anna Jay attacked Mariah May, who brought out the champagne bottle to celebrate. Then Tony Storm came out to even the sides. And then Serena Deeb came out and basically, through the camera, challenged Tony Storm to the title.
One thing to say.
Oh, God, Bill. Teach me.
I need the guidance of the learning. Now, Chris, everybody knows you are the Socrates of professional wrestling. Bring him right up to the top with you. That's you, Chris. Bill can't be serious. He's tag champions along with Ricky Starks. Sure. Now I know there is a long line of guys in the back foaming at the mouth, chomping at the bit for the very opportunity to be a part
No. No, there isn't. No, there isn't.
of Chris.
This is the CM Punk gimmick nobody wanted. Sorry, I just had to take the CM Punk shot there, just for the hell of it.
And nobody better fit than I am for the learning tree. And Chris, you know it. Deep down in your heart, you know I am the very best fit for the learning tree.
This is so.
I gotta tell you, Big Bill, I've been watching you for a long time.
This is painful to watch. Seriously.
I'm one of the reasons why you're in AEW. Did you guys know that? That's true, yeah.
Yay.
About what you said. I'm really going to think about it. I'm going to be keeping my eye on you, Bill. I'm going to be watching you to see if what you say is true.
You actually has to have a match to do that.
I'll show you. Watch me.
Bill doesn't look like this was his idea. No. This to me says more about the possibility of Ricky Starks not being here. This says more to me about Ricky Starks than it does about Big Bill. How many times are you going to say learning tree? He's probably got it trademarked. Thank you, palate cleanser.
Will Ospreay, huge congratulations. We now know that you're going to be facing Roderick Strong at Double or Nothing for the International Championship. Don Callis, the rest of the family, an evening of ups and downs.
So excited, Renee. Sorry to interrupt, but I'm so happy for you. Call you the Golden Goose for a reason. Now you're going to get the gold. And the international gold, you are a true international star. The only note that I had was, we talked about
Starks injured? No, his contract's up.
Kyle. Why didn't you?
I think he does have an injury too, but his contract's coming up soon too. And Fanboy Brian, good to see you here tonight.
Has to go. His neck. I don't care if he's had 5 broken necks. Roderick Strong has had a broken neck. You know what's going to happen if you show weakness? He won the match. He's going to win the match. Double nothing. He doesn't want to tonight for you to be talking to anyone about winning matches. You're going to be the
Ooh.
international. It's all going to be good. You're going to nail him.
Callis is.
And now I got to go manage Hobbs because we're going to win a title tonight, and you're going to win one at the pay.
So you think he's bailing? Yeah, I think he's probably going to be done. I think once his injury is healed up, he'd probably let his contract go. I don't know if there's anything else he could really do. If they're actually moving Big Bill over to Chris Jericho now instead, because they actually had something going really well there between Starks and Bill. And that tag team was actually starting to go really well, but... And his buddy Cody's there. Yeah, exactly. Like, who knows what's going to happen at this point? Like, that's the thing. And now that the FTC has ruled that non-compete clauses are null and void, anybody can show up anywhere at any time. So like I was saying earlier tonight, I was thinking maybe Trevor Lee will show up tonight at AEW. Logistics-wise, probably would have been... Mike, are you still streaming after the Oilers game? Actually, it turns out perfect now because this is the last commercial before the main event. So, as tradition, I let you guys know what's going on the streaming channel. Since we didn't get on last night, we will be taking a 10-minute break here as I get the video downloaded over to my editing computer for tonight's Sidecast. Following that, we'll be back with week 16 of WWE 2K24 My GM mode. We're just coming out of the Fastlane pay-per-view. We got a lot of people that are probably almost dead, so we're going to have to sort things out. We got a guy that's saying he's leaving, so I'm going to put him in a cage match to send him off well. And then tomorrow, probably around 3 o'clock Eastern, thereabouts, we're going to get into Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We're just coming up to our second temple, looking at the water temple, and may get into it actually tomorrow. We'll see. And then from there, Saturday night, another 3 hours of wrestling. Yes, I can roll my R's too. Once again, thanks to NBA/NHL playoffs, the TNT schedule has pushed Dynamite onto Saturday. So we are going to get 4 hours of action there on our end, 2 hours of Collision, 1 hour of Rampage, and followed by another hour of WWE 2K Week 17. And then we'll either go... Odds are we'll be on Monday. Might go Sunday, but odds are Monday we will be there with Topspin 2K25, the newest tennis game that just... Early access is already out. I have my disc booked for Friday to pick up. So, unfortunately, I have to work a 24-hour shift on Friday. So, that's out. So, it's either Sunday or Monday. Most likely Monday. Monday night we'll be on there. And then we'll be back here on Wednesday for AEW Dynamite. Because we are smarter than the average bear. I'm a little disappointed here. Moxley deserves to have his New Japan theme to go off here. He has different music over there that's a lot more devilish. Yeah, they couldn't figure out how to book a mid-card title in New Japan. So they decided to make one title. Sort of sounds what everybody wants AEW to do at this point. I'm just so happy for Mox that he gets to do absolute everything that he wants to do. Oh, Montreal won tonight? So are they in first place again? Because I know they were fighting it out last week before we was watching. If you guys aren't familiar with what she's talking about the Professional Women's Hockey League, the PWHL. Can't use any monikers for the teams because, well, frankly, y'all don't have any. I think as a show of solidarity, Utah should not have one either. The new Phoenix Coyotes that just got bought out and moved. So our main event segment's going to be Jack Perry and Tony Khan. Who would have thought the promoter would be the main event segment? For sure, clinch play, but I don't think it's orders 100% yet. Yeah. Phoenix failed the Coyotes. No, the Phoenix ownership failed the Coyotes. It wasn't the keeps moving. Yeah, that's good. We got a couple more weeks left before playoffs here, and I really like the fact in the PWHL playoffs you actually get the number 1 team gets to pick their opponent. You don't have to automatically go at number 4. You get to pick 2, 3, or 4 who you want to face. The PWHL's been kicking some major ass, yeah. Think that's so sick with that, yeah. The other thing I like about them is their draft lottery process. I think it's going to be better when they get some more teams involved. So the way their draft works, the second that you are eliminated from the playoffs, you start a new point system. You start at 0. And for every win you get points, just like you would in a regular game. And as every team gets eliminated, they start their new scale. So if you're closer to winning, you get less time to get back into it. Whoever has the most points by the end of this period, they get the opportunity to pick first. So basically, this is your tank elimination structure. Because theoretically, the team that's in last place should have a lot more opportunity to get points than the team that just missed the playoffs. But yeah, in terms of Phoenix, I'll say this right. It's the arena owners. It's the same thing that happened in Atlanta. It's the same thing that originally happened in Quebec City. But now Quebec City has the arena, but they're not getting their team back. Well, I almost took out that security guard that is a real security guard. Old gray hair from Safe Security there. Any weight to the Atlanta getting a team again, rumors? Very low. Very low. There is an owner that wants to bring one there. But simply put, they would need to follow so many regulations, just like the Arizona guy. And here's the thing. The guy from Arizona has the chance to get his team back in Arizona, but he has to meet X number of qualifications. How did Salt Lake get a team before Quebec City? Very simple. The owner of the Utah Jazz said I wanted a team, and I'll take it from you for your price. He didn't barter the price. And Phoenix was playing in a 5,000-seat arena. Bittman hates Canada as well, yeah. Well, with taxes and all that, you don't make as much money up here. Straight up. I really do wish, getting back to the match here for 1 second, I do wish that AEW would just, we were talking about this on Sunday, get the 20 count. Don't think San Jose's long for this? No, they'll be around. San Jose, they won't have a problem keeping a team there. The attendance is there when the team's successful. Everybody knew that they were going to be dog this year. This is a nice story here with Hobbs here. If you're gonna have him try to, if you're gonna try to get Hobbs into a fight like this, this is actually the best way to do it. Just have a brawl outside. California's not a sports place. Yeah, I really hope they aren't. Especially in about 19 minutes when the Oilers play the Kings here and start at the top of the hour. Which is the reason why, you know how they're advertising AEW is coast to coast? That's why they are, because they're going into the Kings Oilers game down in the States tonight, right after this. So if you want to watch some good hockey from Edmonton here, definitely check it out. Or have it on the background while you're watching the 2K24 stream. But Quebec's so crazy for, yeah, like, you can be as crazy as you want for hockey, but if your taxes are too high and you're not going to get the revenue that you can get compared to other places, like that's what we were talking about earlier tonight with there's a sports complex here with a full-size arena right across the block from where Daly's place, where they're having Dynamite and Collision this week. The difference is you make less money when you go to a big arena like that and have to pay for the venue versus owning this venue and putting in a couple thousand people here at Tops. We see the same thing on our local front here. Like, we have promotions that have sellouts of 200 people and boast about a sellout, but it's because those venues they barely have to pay for, or they got a good deal somehow. Congratulations, you got a sellout of 200 people. I'll take the venue that had 800 and was able to charge enough to cover for that venue and more. Hey, how's Dynamite tonight? Dynamite is very good tonight. Dynamite's been actually pretty good. Yeah. Ed, before you go, sorry, I have to interject. I have to put a firm break on the second, throw this up. Ed, before you get into Marvel talk tonight, did you guys get the video game reference during this week's episode of X-Men 97? Did you get the video game reference? Because I will give it to you right now if you need it. There's 2 video game references in there. One is a complete Easter egg that a lot of people won't know about, and the other one is a little more obvious. Sorry, if you guys aren't familiar, Ed and Andre C are going to be doing Marvel talk on their channel, Our Local Establishment, right after this. So it's actually Marvel versus Street Fighter, just to clarify that for you. The other one is the blonde hair guy at the funeral is actually a very famous streamer that basically treated Gambit as his star player in MVC2. It's one of those we don't know but we know kind of deals. Maximilian Dude. He's actually one of my favorite streamers when it comes to fighting games. So I saw that and I'm like, oh, I hope Ed stops by so I can bring that up. But yeah, that extra long leg that Rogue uses in that scene, that comes from the Marvel vs. Street Fighter game. And I'm just like, oh. Sorry, I watched the X-Men 97 series. If you guys haven't yet, it is definitely worthwhile. If you haven't seen it. If you're a comic book fan, I have trauma over that series that still lives with me to this day on certain things, but I'll get into that another night because it's not more than here. We're during the main event. The next 3 weeks is going to be bonkers, abso-freaking-lutely. All right, so getting back to wrestling question here. The biggest venue we're using in Edmonton right now is Midway. They are just shy of 1,000 people that are available to work in there with the setup that they have, and during a couple shows, they actually have had close to that. Their next show coming up May 10th, they're actually featuring Mustafa Ali, who's going to be there in the main event. And they just announced today that the finalist for the ROH TV tournament, Queen Aminata, is actually going to be here in Edmonton taking on one of our local wrestlers here from Calgary, Ava Lawless. So that's going to be a very fun match to be a part of here. We're going to talk about all three major North American wrestling companies having African American world champions now, with Swerve, Moose, and Trick. And then you also have the Puerto Rican in Damian Priest. You want to talk about minorities? Let's throw Damian Priest in there and make it a complete quartet. Let's make it a quintet then, with Half Cuban with Cody. No, that wasn't the paradigm shift. That was... Okay, Hobbs is hurt. This crowd's out of it just because... This crowd's treating it like a New Japan show. Yeah, the crowd came back up after it was done, but what is this venue? It's called Daly's Place. It's basically an amphitheater outside the Jacksonville Jaguars stadium. It's owned by the Cons, so it's sort of owned by the football facility as well. It is a lot smaller venue than what they normally run, but it's also convenient for them because, well, the reason they're here, Fanboy Brian, and Tony Khan's been very clear about this, he needs to be by the Jacksonville Stadium and the Jacksonville offices because he is the vice president of the Jacksonville Jaguars, and he's in charge of advanced scouting and all that. So with the draft being on tomorrow, okay. Sorry. Takeshi just stopped me in my tracks here. So tonight and Saturday will be at Daly's Place because of the NFL draft, which starts tomorrow. So he's gonna ham it up here for a few extra. I think Hobbs legit got hurt there. Just talking about the lineage of that championship, huh? Mox looks great. Yeah, Mox feels good here, yeah. Wow, I knew he's involved with the team, but didn't know he was heavily helping in the... He is one of the VPs. Like, he's like an assistant general manager, I believe is the best way to put it, Brian. So we don't know what time it's going to be on Saturday. So I don't know what we're going to do. I'll let you guys know on the socials about it. Because, yeah, we're getting Storm versus Anna Jay, so I know Kayla will be there. Read that they're filling a mini doc about Tony Khan doing the draft and bouncing AEW. Yeah. And then we get Deonna and Thunder Rosa on. They're not even wasting any time here. They're not wasting any time on any of this. This feels like a 2-week dump all of a sudden. Just boom, let's go, everything. All right, Shibata, what do you got to say?
I'm here with the legendary Tatsumi Shibata. Shibata, earlier tonight we heard from Chris Jericho and he had some pretty choice words for you. But I understand that you have something that you wanted to say.
Jericho called me dead weight and collateral damage. Next week I'm going to damage him in his hometown of Winnipeg and become FTW champion.
So you're challenging Chris Jericho?
So yeah, the Leafs blew it at home? So Jack Renee's still the GOAT, absolutely. Leafs always blow it to the bees. Hey, I'm not complaining. Forgot that it was Moxley that introduced Hobbs in AEW. Yeah. Fun fact for you guys, the Maple Leafs have never won a third round playoff series, ever. But Matthew scored 69 goals. Nice, but not nice. These are the first words that Perry said in AEW since he's gone it all in. This is going to be the first official time that we're going to have Tony Khan out here as a figurehead, as an owner. I hope this isn't an ongoing thing, but you know what? This might be one that we might need. This is probably the one time we might need one. I don't think anybody would have listened to a Perry interview except for this at this point. All right. Is it just me or is anybody else looking for a twist here? So it smells fishy, but all right, we got this. I think Ricky, you had to. That's what we were saying earlier. Anytime there's a hug, there's always a problem. Clothesline. Clothesline. There's got to be a clothesline coming. We were talking about it. Oh, there it is. All right, well. Oh, they got the arms. They're hinting at it. The hell? No way! Are you kidding me? Well, I wonder if anybody's going to be taking over the booking duties of AEW for a while. I will say this. I need to put that on a shirt, by the way. Yeah, that's one way of putting it. That's all right. I caught it. I'm sort of happy that the commentary team is not saying anything. Sure, this... Now take out Bryce. They just killed Tony. You bastard. No, the only thing I can say about this is it does cement him as a heel, for one. It keeps Tony Khan off camera, period. And let's face it, we're not getting Tony Khan trying to be some kind of active wrestler. He's not a wrestler. So they'll play this up until it goes off air. That way they don't show him having to be taken out with a neck brace, right? At least he can work the computer still. TK will come back juiced as... Maybe a mushroom or two. Think he really might be hurt? Is this the first bump we've seen him take? Yeah, ever. He's never taken a bump. And he's fine because they're not putting the cervical collar on him. No, I don't even think he was slapped before. Oh, Shad's out there. Papa's home. Papa showed up. All right, that you know, that last image. Daddy's showing up to be a part of this. And I'll say this right now. You put the cervical collar on there. But yeah, you need the cervical collar to make it, you know, if it was actually happening, they'd already have the ambulance out. But yeah, that Daddy's coming out. You know there's a problem. Yes, Tony Khan owns the promotion, not Shad. It is Tony's money, but still, when Dad comes out, you know he's pissed. His dad looks like Mario. I'll throw that out again. Probably one of the happiest nights of TK's life right now. Yeah. I remember. I knew I was never going to. I was never going to get involved in wrestling, but I did end up getting slapped once one day. That's about as most as I was ever going to get. And I still remember the mark stood on my face for a good 8 hours after. Oh yeah, and by the way, the person who gave me that mark is probably still in the chat right now, but I digress. AEW never does things like this. This is what I do. That's good shit. But yeah, all in all, like I said, tonight you weren't going to get a lot of talking, or you weren't going to get a lot of matches tonight. But you had a lot of fun, I think. I think we all had fun going through it here. Right off the bat, you get Swerve and Kyle Fletcher in a very good match. Starting to set up the seeds for... Oh, I don't care. Go nuts. If I need to cut it out, I will. We had Swerve have a good match with Kyle Fletcher, setting up the Fletcher leaving the Callis family along with Ospreay. You also got curses. Yeah, whatever. As long as you're not trying to be racist, sexist, or homophobic or anything like that, I don't have at her. We have a lot of people here who curse and all that stuff, so it's all good. In terms of Mina Shirikawa and Anna Jay, that was a decent match. Now we're setting up two different feuds going on here. We're going to have Tony Storm and Anna Jay coming up on Saturday. We're also got Serena Deeb come out and start setting up that program. You got Mercedes Moné and Willow Nightengale finally get a little bit of heat behind their feud in AEW, not just in New Japan. You got Will Ospreay, who is going to be challenging for the International Championship against Roderick Strong, and a very fun match. And I love the concept. I hope to do it more. And then, yeah, our main event match was John Moxley beating Powerhouse Hobbs in a typical Powerhouse Hobbs match, except it had a little bit of an abrupt ending, which I think Hobbs' knee went there. So you had the learning tree with Jericho, which I was trying to forget. But we're going to get Shibata versus Jericho in Bizarro World. And yes, Winnipeg is Bizarro World, whether you're talking about from the States or you're talking from Edmonton. It's still a weird place. And our main event segment, well, you guys just saw it. Tony Khan got dumped on his head. And I'm really surprised he didn't do the Samoa Joe smile just like he did when Swerve pinned him at the end there. But Tony Khan kept a straight face, so kudos to him. He's better than a lot of wrestlers.